Hey guys, I have a market today and I'm going to bring you along with me. This market is usually a twilight market, so it's usually in the evening when it gets dark out, but since it gets colder in November and December, they decided to do these ones during the daytime. So it's the twilight market, except it's during the day this time. So the market actually starts in 2 hours and I still have a few things to do to get ready. I just woke up, that's why I look a little bit crazy, but I need to take pictures of all the stuff that I finished yesterday before I put it in with the inventory. Then we'll have to load up everything. So I don't have too much to do before we go, but it does start in 2 hours, so I'm hoping to get there in 1 hour. This is my first Christmassy market of the year, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to bring all of my Christmas items to put out, so it'll be a lot of new items that you guys probably haven't seen before. Okay, so I will see you guys at the market. Okay, so it's actually a while after the market, but I'm going to tell you how it went and show you everything that sold and how much I made. So I wasn't really able to get a lot of filming while we were in there because it was so loud in there. There was a lot of people and there was Christmas music, so I wasn't able to do any vlogging while we were there, but I did get videos of my booth before and after, and I will show you those. Like I said, this event is usually in the evening, but this time it was during the day, so I wasn't sure how many people to expect to be there, but it was a pretty good turnout. And for this month and for December, I decided to get a booth inside, even though it cost more, because I just didn't want to be outside in the cold. So I also wasn't sure if people would really know where to find me, since I'm usually outside around like the same spot every month. So I tried out being inside this time and it went pretty well. It was like a little kind of like jam-packed in there, and it was like a lot of people in there at once, but it was still pretty good. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put the video in of my booth before the market. This is my booth before the market. I have all of my smaller items on this table and then some larger items up here. I have my Loaf cats and my penguins, bees, headbands, hats, and then on this side I have most of my Christmassy and winter items. So this was my first Christmas market of the year, so I brought out all of my Christmas stuff. So the first two things that I sold were an Octo and a Triceratops, and they were both a blue and green variegated yarn. And then those sold together for $27, so the Octo is $12 and the Triceratops is $15. Then I sold another Triceratops, and this was the one that was made in the bluish gray yarn, and that one sold for $15. Then I sold a pink mini Octo, and that sold for $10, and that was everything I sold in the first hour. The first thing that I sold in the second hour was my round gingerbread man, and this one sold for $25. So I actually made this one last year and it didn't sell. I sold some of them last year, but I didn't sell all of them, so I had that one left over from last year. The next thing that I sold was a Loaf cat, and this was one of the smaller Loaf cats, and it is with gray variegated yarn. So I sold that one, and I also sold a gray penguin, and those sold together for $50. The penguin is $15 and the Loaf cat was $35. Next, I sold a rainbow variegated popping mushroom, and that sold for $15. Then I sold a corn, and that was one with the regular green husk, and that sold for $20. And now we are going into the third hour. I didn't sell quite as many things in the third hour. So the first thing I sold in the third hour was my elephant, and that sold for $22. And then I sold another gray penguin. So I had made lots of different colored penguins, and I kind of expected them all to sell pretty well. I made like one more of the gray penguins than I did the other colors, but it ended up the gray ones sold way better than the other colors. So I don't think I sold any of the other colored penguins at this market. I only sold the gray ones. Next, I sold another mini Octo, and it was a variegated green one, and it sold for $10. And that is the end of the third hour. The first thing I sold in the 4th hour was a pickle, and it sold for $15. Next, I sold a blue knit headband. So this is a newer item for me. I made some headbands on my smaller knitting machine, and so I sold the blue one. I only made 3 of them because I wasn't sure exactly how popular they would be, so this is the first one that I sold. Next, I sold a red popping mushroom, and that same person also got a mini chick. So those sold together for $27. The mini chick is $12 and the popping mushroom is $15. And then I sold another gray penguin, and that was my last gray penguin. So I only made 3 of the gray ones for this market, and all 3 of those sold, and I didn't sell any of the other colored ones. Then I sold another mini Octo, and this was a little blue one. I think it was made with honey bunny yarn, and that sold for $10. And that is the end of the 4th hour. Now, after the 4th hour, it started to die down, and it was not nearly as busy as the beginning had been, but I did still sell a few more things. So the next thing I sold was a popping mushroom, and it was like a dark purple, almost red one. And then I also sold another corn, and this was the classic green husk as well. Those sold together for $35. The corn is $20, and the mushroom is $15. Then I sold a blue Octo, and that sold for $12. Next, I sold a purple Octo, and that one also sold for $12. And then for the last hour, I actually only made 1 sale. I'm not sure why, but the market just really died down within the last 2 hours. In the last hour, there was like not very many people there. So the last thing that I sold was a classic bee, and this is the one that I embroidered the eyes on, and it worked out perfect because this person was asking for one with embroidered eyes, and the kid they were getting it for really liked bees. So it worked out perfect, and that sold for $15. So the total that I made for this market was $374, which was pretty good. That is not as much as I made last year for my Christmas market, but it is still pretty good, and I'm very happy with that. So I will go ahead and put in the video of after the market and see if you can see what's missing. There's definitely all the colored penguins left and none of the gray ones left. This is my booth after the market. I did restock a lot of this stuff. I had more in my totes underneath and restocked a lot of the smaller items, so may not look like a lot is missing, but that's probably just because I restocked. And I didn't sell any hats or headbands at this market. This super cute puppy came to visit me at the market, and I just had to show you guys. So that is it. I do have a lot more market vlog videos coming out soon, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to make sure to see those. And let me know in the comments which item I sold was your favorite. Thanks for watching.